Hey, aloha, everybody. My name is Mark, and I am the Casual Exile. Today, we're going to be taking you to Clearfell. It's the first town that you encounter in Act 1. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about how towns work, some of the things that you can do in them, and then we're going to take about probably 15 minutes to just get you used to everything in there. We're going to see who the town inhabitants are, talk about what they buy and sell, talk about your stash, talk about waypoints, talk about pretty much a lot of things that you can find in this town. It's the first hub of the game, and so it's pretty important. So let's get started right in it. Let's go, and we just entered after killing the miller, so we're gonna go and progress. Let's move along. Hey, there's Renly. Let's talk to him.
Renly's the name. You're skilled with the violence, if what you did out there in the riverbanks is any sign. Another refugee from the Count's justice, I take it. Well, have no fear. This place is something of a hideaway for many of us now, and we could sorely use your skills in these dark times. I'll smith for you what I can, if you're willing to bend your violence toward our defense.
Ooh, what's this? He gives us a skill gem. Nice reward for killing the miller. So I'll just take that and I'll put that in my pack.
There's a beast of particular dark power stalking us out in the felling. It moves unseen under the dirt and attacks without warning. We can't leave the walls to find food, and I've been unable to corner and slay the beast myself. Now, if you could channel your violence against this devourer, as Finn calls it, we'd be indebted to you.
So you can see that he's offering you a quest, and if you mouse over next to reward, you'll see what he'll give you. So we talked about this in the last video. He's going to give us a support gem if we kill the devourer, and he'll give us some gold. So we're going to go ahead and accept this quest. And then we'll move along, and we'll allow Renly to get back to his place.
A kind leader. Hopefully he survives.
Now, as you can see, I'm in town, and there are a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of flashy stuff around them. We even see a land shark here. We see some folks with some glowing weapons, etc. And in the last video, I talked about microtransactions, and microtransactions being purely cosmetic. They have no impact on player skill. They have no, they don't give you any extra abilities. They don't give you any extra powers. They just look good. And so you can choose to enable microtransactions. You can choose to make those purchases and then enable them to make your character look as flashy as this guy right over here, this level 14 with, it looks like he's got some jellyfish floating around him. So let's make our way around the town. So the first, we already talked to Renly. So if we go back up to Renly's spot up here and we click on him again, you'll see on the left-hand side that he offers you some choices, some conversation pieces. And I would say that if you want to learn the lore of the game, click on these conversation pieces. It's just a little back and forth between that NPC and you, and it helps you get to understand the game a little bit better. I've gone through it probably about 10 times. So after the first time that you listen to them, you don't have to listen to them again. However, I will say if I see something new in there or something that I don't recognize, that I'll click on it and I'll be like, hey, what's this? The other thing that you can do, you can see what quest he gave you, so that'll be above the first line. You can say goodbye, right? Or you can buy or sell items from Renly. So let's go and buy and sell some items, and you can see he's got 3 tabs of items that he'll sell. First one is generally weapons, second one's armor, third one's more armor, right? You mouse over everything. Remember earlier in the last video I said that armor and weapons are not necessarily class dependent. They're more related to the your attributes, strength, dexterity, as well as intelligence. So you're going to be limited in the types of armor or weapons that you can wield based upon those attributes. You might also be limited by the amount of gold that you have. For instance, this pair of boots costs 245 gold, and unfortunately, I only have 5, so can't really buy them. Yeah. Okay. But some others, and you can see that most of these are magic. So as opposed to our white item, right, that doesn't have any magical attributes associated with it, this shield is a magic shield. And you can see, if I hold down the Alt key so I can see it, right, it has a +9 to armor and a +6 to evasion. Now, just mousing over it, I see what the actual values are. But what I did here is I held down the Alt key to get a little bit more information. And you'll see on the left-hand side, prefix. And you'll see on the right-hand side, a T, a tier. And then in between here, you'll see the +9, which is your +9 to armor, right? And then there's a range, 9 to 16. So what this is telling you is that the value is 9, and the maximum that it can roll is between 9 and 16. The maximum it can roll for evasion rating is 10. The tier determines how high those numbers in parentheses go. So a tier 1 is going to be better than a tier 7. And I think some go down to tier 10 or tier 11, right? Additionally, on the left-hand side, you'll see prefixes and suffixes. Sometimes you'll see a prefix and sometimes you'll see a suffix. When we modify a magic item, and we'll modify a magic item later on today, later on when we get some orbs to do that, you'll see that it goes prefix, then suffix, and then when you add a third modifier, it will go to a rare item. It'll go up to a yellow item. So you can have 2 suffixes, or I'm sorry, 1 prefix and 1 suffix on a magic item, and then up to 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes on a rare item. Okay, so 1 for magic, 3 for rare. So let's see if we can find, let's see if he's selling a rare. He may or may not be selling a rare. You see how this quiver is red. The reason that it's red is because it can only be equipped if you're wielding a bow, and since I'm not wielding a bow, I can't do it. Let's go to number 3. See if he's got anything. Oh. Nothing that appears to be rare. All right. But, okay. So, let's go down and see.
If you find a pint out there, do bring it back.
Let's go see Una. Hi, Una.
Welcome to the Camp of the Lost, stranger. We survive, but we do not live. I am Una. All this began the night Count Gino took his most loyal men into the Grellwood. After he returned, a madness grew in him. Something happened out there. Please, I beg of you, travel into the forest and begin your search. There must be some clue as to what took place. I fear this land's sickness will only deepen unless we do something.
Sounds like another quest. Deal. All right. So you see, Una already, she has a couple of options, right? We can either buy or sell items, or we can do something called disenchant. But let's focus on the first one first, buy or sell items, much like Renly. Renly sold physical armor and physical weapons. Una is our primarily
and ends of mine.
Our seller of magical items, so ones that are tailored more towards magic classes. So you'll see that, oh, look at that. It's a beautiful scepter. You'll see that as opposed to my scepter, right? As opposed to my scepter, which has only grant skill level 1 skeleton warrior minion. This one has they deal some additional attack lightning, and then I get a little bit better mana regeneration. I can't use this one because I'm not level 3. Can't use that one because I'm not level 3. A nice wand. I'm still looking for anything that is rare, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we got them. Mana flasks and life flasks can also be magic or rare. No, wait, they can't be rare. They can only be magic, so they can only get a prefix and a suffix. Again, holding down the Alt key lets you examine them a little bit more. And then amulets, belts, as well as rings can all be normal, magic, rare, or unique. So what I am going to do is I'm going to sell all of my white items to Una. I always get that confused. Right. And then how do we do that? We just hold down the control key and click on the item, and it will automatically sell it to her, and the gold will be deposited in your pouch.
Another for my collection. Thank you.
And if you accidentally make a mistake when you're buying and selling, you can always go to the buyback, and you can buy it back just by holding down that control key and clicking on it.
I suppose I can let that one go.
And she sold it right back to me. Okay. She also sells something called the Scrolls of Wisdom. And what does a Scroll of Wisdom do? Well, as the tooltip says, it identifies an unidentified item. And for the first couple of areas, this is going to come in very, very useful to you. It will not be useful throughout. Well, they're useful throughout the entire game, but they're not as useful to identify items throughout the entire game because right after the Grellwood, well, actually a little bit past the Grellwood, one of the NPCs will automatically identify all of the items in your backpack for you. But for right now, what you do, if you want to identify an item, is you right-click on the Scroll of Wisdom, and then you pick an item that is unidentified, and you simply click on it. So now I see that unidentified item, chainmail, is actually the thorny chainmail of thick skin. And it shows me, again, I can hold down the Alt key, that it has a prefix and a suffix. Not bad. All right. These are two different attribute modifiers, or equipment item modifiers. And you can see it's also worth a whole heck of a lot more, right? So this, I think before we identified it, was worth 5, maybe 4 gold, and now it's worth 33. When you factor that in, right, a Scroll of Wisdom is 25, right? So you're taking a chance a little bit, right? So, but I like taking a chance. So let's identify this. It was 5 before. Hey, now it's 27. Hey, I made my money back, right? Kind of, almost. So what can you do with these? Well, you can either sell them to Una, right, or any other vendor for that matter, for the amount of gold. Right? Or you can disenchant them since they're magic. And what does disenchanting give you? Disenchanting gives us transmutation shards. Depending upon what the level of the item is, it's going to give you a different kind of, the level of the item as well as the rarity of the item, it's going to give you a different disenchantment value. For example, these are low-level magics, so they're going to give me 1 transmutation shard. If they were higher-level rares, they might give me a regal shard. They might give me some uniques, disenchant into a chance shard. And all of those are the various currencies that are used throughout the realm, as well as to do different things to your items, add different modifiers to your items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my control key to move things from my bag directly over into her disenchantment window. And you can see that she's going to offer to disenchant both of these items and give me 2 transmutation shards. So I'm going to accept that, and boom. And once you disenchant an item, you can't undo that. So it is final. So be careful that you disenchant something that you really, really, really want to disenchant. All right, so let's go into... Oops.
Cute girl. Surprised she lived.
So if you have a guild, you're going to see your guild stash here. And all that guild stash does is it allows you, if you're playing with your others, to share items within members of your guild. So if I have a buddy who's playing Path of Exile 2, and he drops off, a nice, unique item that is going to benefit me into the guild stash, I can go in there and I can grab it. Otherwise, you have your stash. And your stash is where all of your stuff is stored. So my stash is, I've purchased over the past few leagues a whole bunch of additional stash tabs. You can go into the microtransaction shop and purchase stash tabs. One of the first that you might want to purchase is one for your socketables, one for your potions, one for your gems. If you want to do one for maps, you can. One for your uniques, essences, delirium, ritual. This appears to be a new one. This appears to be... I don't really know what this one is. This one... Interesting. I'm not sure what this one is. It's new. It's new to me, but it's got trials, which... Okay, my tablets, and fragments. So I'm just going to call this... I'll rename this... Ooh, I moved it to the top. I'll rename it fragments. And then you can just click on it, left click on it, and drag it down. Well, I used to be able to drag it down. Maybe I have to drag it over. Ah, there we go. You have to drag it left to right. To customize your tabs and your stash, you just right click on them. You can rename them however you want. You can change the color. You can make them associated with a given type of item that you can pick up off the ground. So if you want this tab to be associated with only gems, or I'm sorry, only gems, right? You could set that to gems. And so that way, anytime you move a gem over from your inventory to your stash, it will automatically go into the first stash tab that has that affinity type associated with it. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to move my transmutation shard. You can see it's got a little spot for that over there. Using the control key, I can move the entire stack over. Or if I only want to move a subset of that stack, I hold down the shift key, and that allows me to split the stack in any way that I want. 0, 1, 2. We're going to split it to 1. And now I can just move that over. So what goes in this tab? You got your Scrolls of Wisdom, all of your different types of currency, and I'll talk about currency as we move on through the campaign. You've got your jeweler's orbs up here. That's really about it. All right. I've got the spare uncut skill gem here. What are we going to do with that? Oh, wait. You know what? Let's see what else is in this town first. Finn.
Welcome, violent stranger. I am Finn, and I shall be your humble provider of useful and diverse objects. That are most definitely not scrounged or stolen. If I don't got it, I can get it. You just let me know.
So Finn allows you to, again, buy or sell items. He is a merchant, but Finn is a special kind of merchant. Finn is a gambler.
None of it's junk. Trust me.
So as you see, when you mouse over all of these items that Finn sells, they're random. So you never know what you're going to get. Well, he's got weapons, he's got armor, he's got offhands, he's got jewelry. They're all random. You might get a normal, you might get a rare, you might get a unique, might get a magic. Substantially more gold. So if you like playing the random game, you are always welcome to take a chance and gamble with Finn. All right. Moving over.
He's a devious one. I like him.
Moving over, we got a couple other things left here, right? We've got the well, and the well functions in a similar way that our checkpoints did. So when you click on the well, you will refill your life and your shield if you have it. You will refill all of your flasks. You will refill your mana and your spirit. I'm sorry, you will refill your mana. And you will also, if you have any charms on your belt, we'll talk about those when we get our first belt, you will refill the charges on those charms. So first thing that I always do when I come into a town is I will go over to the well and I will just hit the button. If it's glowing, that means it's going to refill something on your person, and so you should take advantage of it. The second thing that you're going to see down here is a waypoint, and a waypoint allows you to get, as the name kind of suggests, between points on your maps. They allow you to get from place A to place B, provided that you have discovered that area. Area A, you're in the Clearfell Encampment now, and it'll allow you to fast travel to the Grellwood, or if there's another one over here, and there will be, because there's a nice castle living over there, it'll allow you to go from Clearfell to that castle in one fell swoop. You'll notice on the right-hand side here, I can toggle above or below ground, so that allows you to get from one area to potentially an area that has not been been discovered that's underground. If it's got a question mark next to it, it just means that you cannot get to it because you haven't discovered it yet. You can also hold Alt while you are hovering over it, and it'll tell you about the points of interest that are on that map. So over here, right, you can see it's got 4 points of interest: the Bramble Ghast, the Tree of Souls, the Witch Hut, and Oregane. Oh, whatever. The Forgotten Witch. How about that? We'll just go with that. And then over here in Clearfell, you've got Beatra the Rotten Pack and a Mysterious Campsite. Now, it's always good to take a look at those before you go into an area, or even if you pull up the map while you're in an area. And why is that? Because most of the time, the areas that are noted by one of these pretty little icons will have greater rewards. Of course, with greater rewards comes greater difficulty, so just be mindful of that. that there are things that go bump in the night and they might hurt you. When you're looking at if it has a little plus next to it, generally means that it gives you something that is a one-time reward. And well, as we'll see when we get to Biera of the Rotten Pack, she's going to give you a frozen wolf head that gives you, I want to say it is cold resistance, but I might be wrong there. You know, I might be wrong there anyway. Anyway, let's back out of that. So now we've taken care of Finn, your stashes, Una, Renly, the well, and the Waystone. Throughout the town, there are numerous other lore-friendly things. So if you click on this proclamation, for example, you're going to hear a long, winding tale about how Count Gianor wants to get everybody that can and start digging for some unknown reason. But that's for you to discover. All right. So with that, I think it is time to leave this area and move into another area, our next area, where we're going to search Clearfell for the entrance to the Mud Burrow and also travel through Clearfell to the Grellwood. But this is where we pause this video. If you liked it, I hope you will consider clicking on that subscribe button. Also, feel free to leave me any comments, questions, concerns, constructive criticisms, and I hope that you have a great afternoon. I am the Casual Exile.